Good afternoon, everyone. I'm David Talbot, Managing Director and Head of Research here at Red Cloud Securities. Our next presenters are Peter Dembicki, he's President and CEO, and Christian Rios, Senior VP Exploration at Tier 1 Silver. Tier 1 is focused on the discovery of silver, gold, and base metals in Peru, one of the top producers of gold, silver, and copper. So Peter and Christian, you will have 15 minutes to go ahead and give your talk, and then we'll have a 5-minute Q&A at the end of the session. So why don't you take it away?
Thank you very much, David, and welcome everybody. My name is Peter Dembicki, President and CEO of Tier 1 Silver, and we're joined live from Lima, Peru, by Christian Rios, our SVP of Exploration. So Tier 1 Silver is a premier exploration company focused on finding the world's next largest silver discoveries based in Peru. We're going to be making a few forward-looking statements throughout this presentation, so hopefully this covers us there. You know, when you're investing in any type of junior exploration company, the priority has to be on people. The management, founders, stakeholders involved, have they done it before? Have they made discoveries before? Do they know how to handle discovery? And do they know how to run a capital markets and public company? In the case of our group, it is such a robust group with such experience. It's a meaningful thing to have as an exploration company. So myself, coming from the capital markets, formerly 10 years at Canaccord Genuity, Michael Henriksen on our team as Chief Geologist, formerly of Newmont. But pay attention in the bottom left corner, Ivan Bevic and Sean Wallace, two names in the industry that really stand out, have been a part of multiple startups and exits for shareholders along the way with a lot of success. So it is an integral part of investing in any company. Again, I mentioned a couple of the successes that Ivan Bevic and Sean Wallace were involved in, heading back to 2008 and to 2011 with the founding of Keegan and the eventual turning that into a producing gold mine, produced phenomenal results for shareholders. And then more recently, the startup and sale of Caden Resources to Agnico for over $200 million in probably one of the worst mining markets that we've seen in a long time. So again, it's not only about, does your team know how to make a discovery with the technical team and the management and the capital markets, but do they know how to handle it and provide a successful exit for shareholders? So I touched a bit on our technical team. Well, right here with us today, Christian Rios, SVP of Exploration, heading up our projects down in Peru. He has formerly been a part of multiple silver discoveries within Peru as a part of the Bear Creek mining team. Michael Henriksen, as I mentioned before, Chief Geologist of our group, formerly of Newmont. Antonio Ribas, to have him on our board as a director is just unbelievable. This is the former Chief Geologist of Newmont Global and former VP of Geosciences at BHP. So we truly do have the dream team when it comes to capital markets, management, and technical team to prove moving our projects to the next level. I don't think I have to educate this audience too much on why silver is our focus and why it's such an exciting commodity. You know, silver, I feel, is that perfect commodity. It has all of the classic characteristics of gold, safe storage of money, hedge against inflation, protecting yourselves against the dilution of fiat currency, but at the same time has all the characteristics of copper as far as its use case scenario. We've seen for the first time in 6 years supply not meeting demand, and that case looks like it's going to continue forward with the evolution of the green revolution, EV cars, electronics. Silver is a hot commodity and one that we're happy to be focused on. So here we are in Peru. And why Peru? It's the third largest producer of silver in the world, has the largest reserves of silver in the world, second largest producer of copper. This is a mineral rich country that for the most part remains underexplored. So within our company, we are focused on two premier properties: Hurricane Silver, located just 60 kilometers north of the city of Cusco, and our flagship project, Curabaya, located in the south of Peru, just north of the border of Chile. Now, years ago, our team set out to find the top precious metals targets in Peru. They scanned the entire coastline of the country, and the #1 precious metals target came back smack dab in the middle of the most prolific copper porphyry belt. And that's what has raised a lot of eyebrows on our story. We are situated just kilometers away from Cerro Verde, Cajone, Tocopala, Quellaveco. These are the giants in the industry in Latin America, lots of them silver producers as well. There's a gap in the system. And then these giants start up again in northern Chile. So the fact that we pinpointed our precious metals target on this copper porphyry belt that has been scanned for years looking for the next copper play was really intriguing to us. We went ahead and age dated our property and our rock, and it came back Paleocene era, much like the giants to the north and to the south in Chile. So it allowed us to take the confidence to take that next step and explore Curibaya for what it could be. Just to give you a sense of a land package. Now, years ago, we had a third of our land package. We acquired the second third from Teck when they were shedding land, and eventually the last third from a bankrupt Australian junior mining company. And as you can see how close we are, within 40 kilometers to Tokapala, a large open pit mine in our region. And since in the last couple of years, the majors have been coming back very, very aggressively. As you can see them staking land in and around Curibaya. Now, when I landed in this position as CEO and president of Tier 1 Silver just about a year ago, the timing couldn't have been better. The results started coming in from our initial rock sample program, and they were nothing short of absolutely exceptional. Nobody that I've known in the resource sector, or anyone on the team, had seen grades like this before. I'm talking rock results of silver up to 300,000 grams per ton, and gold almost at a kilo. And these samples were emanating all across the board in a 20 square kilometer footprint. So we knew we had something here. We just didn't know that the grade was going to be this robust. So again, in the natural progression of exploration, you want to take that next step and do some channel sampling and see what we can find. So here's a highlight of the channel samples that we came back with over the last year. And as you can see in the silver column down the middle, highlighted in pink, you can see high grade, bonanza grade, economic grade widths. So it wasn't just a grade and not width, and it wasn't just width without grade. We have both. One recurring theme that you can see throughout in the corridor column is the name Kembaya, of which we'll be stressing over the next few slides here. So Christian, I'm going to pass it off to you. You can explain why we love the Kembaya as our future target, what we went through in our first phase of drilling at our Curibaya site, and what's in store for the company.
Thank you, Peter. In this slide, we can see 6 kilometers of corridors. In the 4 corridors that we have, Sambalay, Madre, Samantipal. For example, this is the location of the channel samples. For example, in the northeast, in Kembaya area, we have very high grade, 2 meters, 1 kilo. Also a very good, interesting ore shoot, 20 meters, 300 grams. If we go to the southern part, we have also high grade, 2 meters, 6 kilos. And also good, interesting ore shoot, 6 meters, 400 grams. So all of this is very interesting because it has 6 kilometers of strike length that needs to be explored. Next one, please. Okay, this slide is very important because it shows the drilling results that we have done 2021. For example, in yellow color, that's the last drill hole that we drilled last year. Drill hole number 16, where we carried 1.5 meters, 1.2 kilos silver equivalent, and also a very interesting ore shoot, 7 meters, 300 grams. That's in Sambalay corridor. From that area to Kembaya area, there is more than 1 kilometer that needs to be explored. And also, Kembaya area is in the upper part in elevation, topographically, stratigraphically, and also in the system. So we have 250 meters in the vertical, where we can find good volume tonnages, and it's in the upper part of the system. That is very interesting. In Madre corridor, we hit also in drill hole number 6, 1 meter, 1.4 kilos, and also a very interesting ore shoot, 3.5 meters, 442 grams per ton silver equivalent. In the other corridor, Tipal, also we hit it economic grades, 3 meters, close to 400 grams. So in all these 16 holes, we have more than 30% of economic mineralization carried, and as a first phase 1 in exploration in any company is very interesting results, having more than 30% economic results. Next one, please.
And just before we move on there, Christian, one thing to point out to the audience is our drill permit that we had called an FTA in our previous drill program only allowed us for 20 drill pads and 2 holes per pad, but we had to stay within this region. As we were drilling, the further channel and rock samples came out on Kembaya, and it really led us to show us that that is a huge target for us to focus on, but we couldn't get to it in our last pass. So our new DIA permit, or DIA, that'll be in place for this spring will allow us to target that higher elevation, that higher precious metals window. Go ahead, Christian.
Yeah, and for example, here we can have a clear view about the location of hole 16 with economic grades, and from there to Cambaya area is more than 1 kilometer that needs to be explored. Total of those red structures, the corridor, 6 kilometers. That's a very good length for exploration. As Peter mentioned, Cambaya area, 250 more meters in the vertical extension, more or less up to 2,300 meters. And that's a photo of the typical structures in the area with quartz, with mixed carbonates in the brownish color. We have also sulfides like pyrite and the very fine black mineral, which we call FPS, 5-black sulfide, which is silver sulfosalts, Frebergite. Next one, please. Okay, this is a schematic section that is showing the different corridors, Sama, Madre, Samalay, Cambaya. Also, Tipal is in the same area as Sama. So we have this here, the precious metal window. We put it up to 400 meters vertical, but here in Peru and also outside Peru, these epithermal intermediate sulfidation veins is typical to have more than up to 700 meters or 1 kilometer. So now at the moment we have explored until 150 meters just in the vertical. But if you can see in the Cambaya area, which is 2150 meters, that's higher elevation. It goes up to 2300 meters, and we have more window to explore there. And we're planning to do that this year with scissor holes. And we need to define the geometry of that area because it may have some good tonnages and volume. These structures are linked to a porphyry copper source. Why we are saying that? Well, we are in a world-class porphyry belt, as Peter mentioned a little bit earlier. And we have also, we carried in the drill holes different evidences of having a porphyry, like porphyry fingers, porphyry dikes with secondary magnetite veinlets, also K-feldspar secondary, K-feldspar that means hotter temperature in the area. And also we are carrying increases in molybdenum in the bottom of the holes. That is a vector for high temperature. And also the gold is increasing up to 0.2 grams per ton gold in these dikes. And we have chargeability anomalies and MAC anomalies that we need to test.
So think about that in terms of where we started with our project with a phenomenal surface entry into the sector with those grades, followed up with channel samples. Our first phase of drilling was 5,300 meters, 16 holes for our first pass. We encountered 2+ kilo intercepts. Over 30% of our drill holes were of economic grade and width. On this schematic, you can see how much elevation plays into it. As we move further north to the Cambaya region, the precious metals window increases, the targets get better. And plus the porphyry story coming to light is just nothing short of phenomenal. I want to highlight really briefly the infrastructure that Cambaya has, close to 2 deep water ports that service all those giants. Hydro and electric to our north, an hour-and-a-half drive from the city of Tacna is 300,000 people in an international airport. No archaeology, no agriculture, no residences, one fantastic community that truly is our partner. If you don't have good social communities on your side, government permits won't get you that far. So again, the address where we're located, in and amongst the giants on this prolific copper porphyry belt, we've targeted a preserved precious metal system, and all indications point to a porphyry driving that system. This really could turn out to be the geologist's dream. The scale, the grade, everything is pointing towards a fantastic project to drive forward this next spring that we'll be testing. If that wasn't enough, we wanted to put another project into our portfolio. Last summer, we acquired Hurricane Silver. This came from a private group, formerly of Newmont, that we worked for over 1.5 years to acquire, and finally added it into our project for various reasons. Given the Newmont background and the Newmont background of our technical team, we were very happy with the work that they had done and had a lot of confidence in the work that they had done and saved us multiple years of exploration to get to this point. The historical chip sampling and rock sampling on the property, again, economic grades, bonanza grades all over the place. We just got access to part of our Hurricane project late in the fall. We sent a team up there for 3 weeks to do reconnaissance channel sampling. And sure enough, coming back with economic grades, fantastic grades. We even encountered historical artisanal mining shafts that go 200-300 meters into the mountain. So someone at some point was exploring for high-grade silver along those times. And in the background, further pre-existing drilling reports of extreme high grade copper and nickel that we're slowly going to bring to the forefront as a story. So here we have two phenomenal projects within our portfolio, both providing world-class swings at discoveries. Some catalysts to come up for the company. Curabaya, we're about to embark on our pre-drilling. You know, we're going to do some more soil sampling, geochem, geophysics. We have to get set up to test that porphyry. We're going to have our permit expanded and in place, ready to go for the commencement of drilling. Hurricane Silver, the goal for this year is to get it to drill ready stage. If all the planets aligned, we could possibly fit in a short drill program up at Hurricane as well. But two projects, very active. They're going to have a robust amount of catalysts coming forward for shareholders. I want to give you a brief overview of our capital structure. We are a spin-out of formerly Oren Resources, and we have a phenomenal shareholder base. We have 125 million shares out. Before we listed last June, we raised $13.5 million at $1 Canadian. Fortunately, we caught at the time tail end of $30 silver, and we had quite a ride in the markets. And since then, we've basically traded down with the price of silver. So it's good to see silver peaking its head above that level again, and hopefully we see it keep going up here. So again, we have all the fundamentals of success. I've done the best job as I can to exploit our team, the people that are involved. We have founders and chairmen and leaders on our management team that have been a part of multiple successes for shareholders. We have phenomenal properties, the projects. Great is king at the end of the day. We're going to chase it down, but our technical team is really the team that we hang our hat on. The expertise and the resumes that we have within our team. Any exploration company out there would be very happy to have any elements of these, and we have them all. So, you know, Curabaya in itself is truly the dream project to go after. The fact that we have this preserved precious metal system that's potentially sitting on top of a copper porphyry in and amongst the giants of Latin America, it's going to be a truly exciting spring.
Great. Okay. Thank you very much, Peter. So we have about 2.5 minutes for questions here. I guess searching for large, high-grade epithermal silver in a key copper belt. Do you see that as the real key opportunity here, looking for something that nobody else looked for before?
Maybe Christian, I'll hand that off to you for a geological comment.
Yeah, for sure. We're in the Paleocene age, and we have 6 kilometers of corridors. We have multiple veins structures, and it's high grade all over the place in the rock chip sample plus channel samples. So until now, in the 5,300 meters, we carried more than 30% of economic grades. The width, we saw it, 1.5 meters, more than a kilo, but we have this interesting ore shoots, 7 meters up to 300 meters, 400 grams per ton, and also 3.5 meters up more than 400 grams per ton. So we have the high grade, we have the good ore shoot, and Cambaya, which is upper part in the system, we have these 20 meters of ore shoot that we need to test up to 300 meters, 300 grams per ton. So that's a very interesting high grade ore shoots and 6 kilometers of strike length. In this area, in Peru, they were looking for the giants for the porphyries. We have the epithermal plus evidences of a porphyry. So that's, we're in a very interesting place.
Okay. So what are you really focusing on? Are you looking for some of the porphyry down near the Madre zone? Or are you looking towards the north where you can hit some bonanza grades?
Actually, we're looking for both. We're going to, this year, we're going to test the structures mainly in Cambaya, which is the upper part in the system, and also Sambalay. From Sambalay to Cambaya is more than 1 kilometer that we need to test. But last year, when we drilled, we see in the core, in the relog, we're finding these porphyry dikes with secondary magnetite veinlets up to 0.2 grams per ton gold. So it's increasing the temperature, also molybdenum values. It's increasing the temperature. We have evidences of that. Also, there are some skarn areas. That means higher temperature mineralization in the area, plus some chargeability anomalies and mag anomalies below 300 meters that we need to test. So, but also we're planning to do some CSAMT this year to define better, to have more evidences of the resistive areas in the project.